What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must label free. Super excited. We have a very special guest with us. She is doing incredible things, touching many lives across the world. She's an educator and entrepreneur who is passionate about helping people live well as create a more meaningful life through life experience through education and travel. Please welcome Arnitha Webb. Arnitha, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yay! Can you please tell the audience a little bit about your background? Because you do a lot.
I do a lot, and I have done a lot. So yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I think when you're an entrepreneur, that's where all the different hats come in. But I've always been an educator. So I have worked even before I got into entrepreneurship. In my corporate background, I was an educator. I was always like, the in-house trainer.
Yeah.
And that's where the traveling came in, because I was the in-house trainer and I would have to go to the London office, the New York office, the California office, whatever office it is to, train the staff.
Sure.
So, that's a big part of my corporate background. And then I took what I was doing in corporate and created a consulting company way back when, and started, getting my own clients and, doing trainings, doing their staff trainings. So I've always had that educator part.
Sure.
Of who I am. I think it's just sort of in my DNA. Even if someone meets me,
yeah,
and within the first hour or whatever, or 15 minutes or whatever of our conversations, it's like it gravitates towards them sharing something about a dream of theirs, something that they want to do, something that they aspire to. I don't even have to ask for this conversation. Yeah. It just gravitates towards me. And so I don't know, something written on my forehead to say, share your dreams with Arnitha.
It's the great energy that's coming off of you, because I can feel it coming through the screen. You just got such a great spirit about you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, fast forward, I've had businesses, I've had learning centers, I've had insurance agencies. The entrepreneurial bug just gets in you, right?
Yeah.
And then I got an offer to be a New York City teaching fellow.
Okay.
And that particular fellowship takes people who don't have a background in working with kids at all. They have corporate backgrounds, and they give you an opportunity to come work in their high needs areas, their high needs schools. And so I accepted that invitation, went through their program as a fellow, and that's when I got into the formal K-12 side of education. So I'm a well-rounded educator. I, educate from K-12 all the way up to adults.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm an educator for real. And so now what I do is just in reshaping my life to be the way I wanted it to be, so that I could live the way I wanted to live and have the freedom.
Yeah.
I took a step back and I said, okay, how do I take all of me, like all of these experiences, the corporate experiences, the K-12 experiences, the entrepreneurial experiences, and package myself in a way, I'll just structure my life in a way where I can have the freedom to travel as much as I want to travel.
Yeah.
And do the things that I want to do without being worried financially. And so that's what I do now. I live the way I want to live, but I am an educator. And one of my big passion projects right now, I just launched Windsor Kids Academy off of the back of the pandemic, because children who are in special education are really falling through the cracks.
Yeah.
Really falling through the cracks. And so I just launched an online academy, and we're currently enrolling in students right now. into that academy. And alongside that is a global community that I'm launching as well. So I can bring together all the stakeholders in special education globally into one cohort so that we can share and collaborate, and parents and just everybody can do better by the
Right.
kids.
Yeah. There's more, you're more powerful together than you are divided, right? And
Exactly.
so bringing people together with different experts in that field, the special needs is, special needs. I actually volunteered at the Markland home when I was in my early 20s, and it was all special needs children that were actually, they couldn't speak, they were in wheelchairs, and my heart just goes out to them, and I just love them so much, and I really enjoyed that experience. I don't think too many people my age would have been doing that. And so I
Yes.
think that's amazing that you are focusing on that group of
Yeah.
individuals that need that special help. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. And so I know you'd launched that today. You had a live event on LinkedIn. And so can you tell us like how that went? Like what kind of people you brought together, and what the game plan is for the next one?
Yeah. So as you can imagine, anytime you're starting something and you do something the first time, every mistake is going to happen. Like
Oh yeah.
every little faux pas is going to
Oh
happen.
yeah.
So we had lots of kinks, lots of technical kinks today. But the audience, the people who did show up, they were awesome. They were like, look, we are following like what you're talking here. So
Yeah.
just keep going, keep going. So I was like, thank God for grace, right?
Yes, for sure.
Um, so it was my first information session just to introduce the service as an option,
Okay.
because I want families, and I want the when I say stakeholders, there's so many people involved in working with a student in special education. You have the special education teacher. Sometimes there's a speech pathologist. Sometimes there's occupational therapy. It could be so many
Yeah.
people that's a part of that team
Oh yeah.
for that student. So for this session, I just put it out there. I just put it out there as an invitation, of an information session on who we are. I just wanted to introduce us and give people an understanding of why am I forming this company?
Yeah.
Who am I trying to serve? How am I trying to serve them? How they can reach us. That's really all it was for, just information session. And I'm going to be doing a lot more. I'm probably going to be doing them weekly
Good.
at this point
Great.
to really, really get the word out. I can easily make a recording, right?
Sure.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, we have the
Like what we're
technology.
doing right now.
Like I could easily just make a recording and say, here, just press this button
Yeah.
and you'll learn everything. But I think I really want to do the lives. It's challenging me because I don't do lives, but it gives me an opportunity. This is so important. It's so important that I want people to know I'm on deck.
Yeah.
I'm here. You can ask questions now. I want to open up the dialogue
Yeah.
so that, even it has to be a conversation, because maybe I need to tweak something.
Yeah.
That to make it, I need to constantly hear that feedback. So I'm going to be doing it live weekly. Um, and also because it is a virtual business, a lot of times virtual businesses can be ran so hands off,
Sure. That's
right?
true.
But these are our kids. I want them to know this is not the type of business that's going to be hands off,
Right.
that I'm on deck. The teachers are going to be on deck. We are going to do whatever we have to do. So the best way to do that is to show them and be there live every week.
Support for Label Free Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Now, ladies, you can use this too. We're all inclusive here. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. And now we're going to have the ladies too, because come on, ladies, let's be real. We have an exclusive offer for my listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code labelfree20 at manscaped.com. So thank you, Manscaped, for your support. And everybody is welcome to purchase with my code. So what kind of resources are you providing for different families with special needs children?
So it's the academic services.
Okay.
because these are all, students in special education. So it's literacy based. So you know, when you attack literacy, you attack how a person receives information,
Right.
thinks, processes, right? So it's literacy based, and so it's heavy on the academic side, but it's also holistic in that we are not using a cookie cutter approach. We're
Sure.
not using a cookie cutter approach on assessments. We're not using a cookie cutter approach in how we're doing the curriculum. If a student is online, I don't expect them to be like you and I on a Zoom and them being, all attentive and having
Right.
25, of their classmates' pictures across the screen. It's not how it works. So the teachers, they're all credentialed. I'm only hiring credentialed people, but it's not just about the credential. You
Sure.
have to really be open-minded on how you are going to engage a student. So like I'm thinking of one teacher because I just hired her. I love her approach. She is not inside of anybody's box.
Good.
So she brings for her area of specialty. This is really good too because she has a dog. So she brings the dog onto the screen so the
I love
kid can
it.
like engage, with the dog. It just makes everything light and airy. And she's not sitting at the screen. She has her full board behind her. She has all her manipulatives. Like it's a fun class.
That's
It's
good.
a fun, engaging class. So I'm looking for teachers who are really passionate about thinking outside the box on how to reach a student, on how to differentiate that lesson so that they're getting it and they're performing well in their academics. And you can't just do what's written on a
Yeah.
lesson plan.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
special needs is, so can you say like what falls in the category of special needs? I would assume like autistic children would fall
it's
into
pretty
there.
broad. It's
Yeah.
really broad. You have your disabilities that you could see. Like you
Right.
mentioned earlier, like
Yeah.
you have your intellectual disabilities and your autism. Sometimes you can't see autism, no two are alike. But you have disabilities that you could see. But there's 13 categories under the IDEA law, and there's a lot of students that are in special ed you would never know.
Right. Yeah.
There's learning disabilities that you'll never see if you're not working with the student. So my goal with Windsor is to match up the teachers with the right students so that they can hone in on what that student's needs. It's not just, put a kid in a class.
Right. Right.
No,
Well, I love that.
no,
And bless you
no.
for
If
doing that and
Yeah,
providing a resource for parents that have a child has a child with different types of needs that need extra attention. And so
yeah.
are there resources out there that can help a parent connect with you to get your services to help with their child? I mean, how does
Mhm.
that work?
So right now, I have the Windsor Kids Academy.com, which is all about, if a family is looking for a service like this. And then that's where the global community comes in because I was trying to figure out a place to bring all the resources under one umbrella.
Okay.
And I thought about doing some of the social media platforms, just forming a group, but that's really open.
Yeah.
And the information that people put on there it's not private
Right.
in any way. It's not private. So that's why I'm doing a closed community. It's not on a social media platform because I also wanted the space to be safe.
Sure.
Because when people are talking about their children and what they're going through, they don't need to be judged.
Yep.
They need to be helped. They need it.
Embraced and
Right,
supported.
embrace.
Yeah.
Exactly. Embrace is a better word than helped. They need to be embraced and heard and given some resources. So under Windsor Global Community, that's where I plan to put all the resources. And what's great is that it's not all coming from me. I don't know
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm inviting, like, all the different stakeholders and parents there, and let everyone start sharing and talking and communicating and figuring this thing out, because we can't rely on, our local school district to have
No,
all the answers,
no.
you
And
know?
there's so many resources out there that, two heads are better than one, right? And so the more people you can get together that have gone through different experiences, that have found different resources, because there are just so many out there for everyone, and especially what you're doing. So I would assume that, as you build your community and people are willing to share different things. And I actually have some resources for you. So when we're done, I'm going to introduce you to some
Awesome.
people. But I think that, that's great. And that
Yeah.
the more people come together to tackle a problem that they're dealing with, the better it is for everyone.
Yes. 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 So this is my passion. You know, I work with uh I had to actually put on hiatus my travel program because I had a student travel program, but COVID,
Yeah,
put that on pause.
sure.
And I don't think I'm opening that back up until maybe 2023 or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Everything's virtual now anyways, so, but it is good to do things in person. It really is. So where can people find you, reach out to you, support you, or find more information?
Yes, yes. So my email is super duper duper simple. Info, info at arnithawebb.com. Arnitha is spelled ARNI, T as in Tom, H as in Harry, AWEBB.com. Info at arnithawebb.com. And if you just go to, rather than me giving you the Windsor Academy site and this site, go to arnithawebb.com.
Okay.
Because if you go there, every single thing that I'm about and that I'm doing is always going to be on that main page and with every link. I can't get any simpler than that. I could give you the individual, but why?
No.
arnithawebb.com, and you'll always have access to me.
And I will put all those links in the show notes, you guys. So don't hesitate if you find what Arnitha is sharing is valuable for someone you know or for yourself. Please go reach out to her. I will put her email address there and her website address. It is very user friendly. As she says, it has all the information of all the incredible things that she's doing to support that community. We are starting to get close on time, Arnitha. So I wanted to ask any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to share with the audience?
My advice is, don't be afraid to press reset. Don't be afraid to press reset. We all have this one life to live, and we all want to live it well, right?
Yeah.
And that's my thing, just helping people live well, helping you live well. So don't be afraid to press reset, to stop doing something that you may have kind of like be just used to doing, so you keep doing the same thing because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to stop if you need to stop. And sometimes things have a season, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to look for a different way to move forward with something. Don't be afraid to take a step back and just assess how you want tomorrow to be, because what we do today really determines on tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to press the reset and make things the way we want it to be so that we could be happy.
I love that. So my sensei, I was a martial artist for about 20 years. He used to say, people fall in love with comfortable. And so becoming uncomfortable is where the growth happens and where you can improve your life, whatever that looks like for anyone along their journey. And that's just like, that stuck with me forever. I mean, I think he told me that when I was like 20 years old. And I just remember that, like, don't fall in love with being comfortable, because, that's hinders your growth.
It does. It really does.
So I love that. That was great advice. Before I let you go, because I know you're a busy woman, you got a lot of great things out there with your cape on, helping the world and making people's lives better. What else? Is there anything else that in store besides this incredible Windsor Kids program that you've put together?
Well, I tell you what is kind of hot and heavy these days, because the world is opening back up and people are traveling. And again, my whole thing is about education and travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I sell international insurance, travel insurance and medical insurance that's really comprehensive and that works the way it works for us here in the
Okay.
States, even when we're traveling. And I did an accompanying book, RYL Abroad Travel Planner. That's on the site.
Okay.
Um, so that has a lot of buzz right now going where people are picking up the book, when they're making their travel plans. I am not a travel agent. I'm not I'm not a travel agent. But everything that I do I think of it from a international or global perspective, because travel is the only thing that I know that can make a person see something from a different point of view.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
And the educator in me resonates with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes
It
sense.
really resonates. That's why for me, education and travel is it goes hand in hand for me. So I just approach everything from that perspective. And I tell people, if you can go somewhere, always go.
Yeah.
Go to experience it. I can't wait for I will eventually, open up and do more student trips again, like I was doing before. But in the meantime, I am honed in on Windsor to help the families with special needs. But my travel side is always there. I just got back from Paris last
Oh,
week.
wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Good for
yeah,
you, girl. I love to travel. It's been a while, but I like, abroad. So I'm looking
yeah,
forward to traveling to
yeah.
new countries again. Well,
I
I was just going to say, you guys go and check that book out. If you are a traveling person, that might be beneficial for you to just pick up and look at the resources that she has in there. So
Mhm.
you are just full of resources and information and wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing, Arnitha.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to let you go. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. Please don't forget to rate, review, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.